Welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County business leaders and entrepreneurs, brought to you by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. And now, Josh Knoll.
Hi everyone, welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County, Alabama area entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm your host, Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. We are coming to you today from the studios of WABF 1480, located here in beautiful downtown Fairhope, Alabama. My guest today has served as a partner in one of Tuscaloosa's oldest law firms, as a city attorney, and as a deputy attorney general for the state of Alabama before forming his own private practice located in Orange Beach. So with all that said, let's give a big welcome to local attorney Brenton C. McWilliams.
Thank you.
Brenton, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Well, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it.
So before we dive into your independent firm's focus, I want to talk about what landed you in Lower Alabama. So where are you from originally?
Well, I grew up in Huntsville. Went to school at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and that's where my wife Crawford and I met in 2008.
Okay.
We started dating, and then she finished school up in Tuscaloosa in 2008. She moved to Orange Beach, and so from there, I still had to finish up school, and then I went to law school, but we were dating the whole time.
Okay.
She was working down in Orange Beach as an interior designer. I obviously spent a lot of time there.
So were you traveling back and forth, like on the weekends, or how?
Yeah, traveling back and forth on the weekends. I started law school in 2009, so I actually spent the summer before 2009 working down in Orange Beach.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time down there.
Is Crawford from Orange Beach?
She's from Marion, Alabama, actually.
Okay.
She got a job. She was an interior designer.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot of condos and things down there. So
True.
plenty of work in that realm. So that's just where she went directly out of school. So I started law school in 2009.
Okay.
Still, we're dating the whole time, doing the long distance thing, going back and forth, spending a lot of time down on the weekends. And then when I finished up school in 2012. I got a job with my firm in Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
And
well, before we dive into that,
sure.
So you went to University of Alabama for
Right,
law school.
right.
What led you into being a lawyer? What led you to law career?
It was I was a finance major, and I graduated around 2009.
Didn't have a job.
Yeah, you knew exactly what was going on right then.
I think I had one of them degrees.
Yeah. So I just kind of took a look around. I was looking around trying to get jobs, but definitely needed a plan B. And
Right.
I'd always been really good at taking standardized tests. So I was taking some logic classes, philosophy, things like that. So I just walked in one day. I think Kaplan is the name of the company. They were doing these practice tests.
They do my stuff too.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So they were doing these practice tests, and so I sat down, went in for the afternoon, took a practice test, did pretty good.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, hey, I guess I can get into law school. Maybe I'll give this a shot.
Right.
And studied, worked really hard on it, and knocked the LSAT out of the park.
Okay.
And then got into the University of Alabama.
Very good. So you went to undergrad at University of Alabama as
Correct.
well, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you go to law school there, and I know you had mentioned to me in the past that part of your law school experience was the 2011 tornadoes
Right.
that hit Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Tell us about that.
It was a really huge thing for me and a lot of my classmates as well. I guess I can kind of start from the beginning of my experience, what happened. My roommate and I, we live in a small house. They call it the ranch. It just kind of like, they look like these shotgun houses.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody had said the threat level's going up that day. The tornado situation's looking pretty bad. So we're kind of sitting around. We're looking at our house. We kind of stay there to the last point, but then we're looking around. We say, well, all right, we don't need to be here.
We
don't need to be in our house anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
It definitely wouldn't have made it if the tornado had come in our direction. So we go up to the law school. It's definitely was a better place to be, a newer building. So we're there, and we're getting close to exams at this point. So everyone is studying. Everyone's kind of not a whole lot of socializing going on. A lot of people spending their time in the
Right.
library. So there's a lot of people up in the law school. So they send us down to the basement, and we're down there, and at some point the lights go out.
How many people in this basement were talking?
I'd say probably 20 or 30. I think there's
Okay.
people elsewhere in the law school
Right.
as well, but that's where they had put us in particular. The lights go out. There are a lot of people down the hallway, and on this back hallway there's a row of windows, and all of a sudden all these people come running from those windows, and they ran back into this room where we are, and they said, I saw the tornado. It was huge.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So, at the time, I'm in a state where I don't really have a lot of information. I'm not online on Facebook seeing what's going on.
Right.
And really, I didn't necessarily believe that they had seen the tornado.
Sure.
I don't know. I thought they saw something. So the lights cut out. We have kind of a tense, 5 or 10 minutes, then everything's over.
Right.
So I walk out of the law school, and the first thing I smell is it's the smell of like a construction site, like just sawed wood. But I couldn't see anything. I didn't see any damage. I walked out of the front of the law school. Everything was fine. Maybe there was one downed tree, but nothing really that bad. And we had already had a few tornadoes hit in the month, and I think one even earlier that week, and it was pretty small. So I got in my car, and I head home. Nothing really strange. All the lights are working. I go home, I get on Facebook, and then I see pictures of really what was on the backside of the law school.
Okay.
And just devastation.
Right.
And there was an F5 tornado had, cut a giant path pretty much through the city, right along the outskirts of campus.
Did it hit your house?
It didn't hit my house.
Okay.
And that was what I was kind of saying is really going from the law school, I didn't see anything. But I immediately, a good friend of mine his family had a pharmacy on 15th Street, which is the area close to campus where the tornado hit the hardest. So I immediately, I had a bike that I could put on my car, and so I drove my car as close as I could get, then got on my bike and rode it over to his pharmacy and tried. Fortunately, he wasn't there, but the whole thing was caved in. I was really worried for a long time and just looked around.
Well, I mean, F5, is not typical for Alabama, I wouldn't think.
Right.
Right. I mean, Oklahoma, Kansas would be one thing.
It's a really big one, and for it to go through such an urban area, I think is also, a pretty big deal.
All right. So you mentioned earlier you graduated in 2012. This tornado hits in 2011? Did that accelerate what you're trying to do? You're like, I gotta get out of here, or what happened?
Well, okay, so that was actually my second year of law school.
Okay.
So in like I mentioned, we're in exams. They pretty much said, it took a while, but they pretty much said, okay, exams are off.
Okay.
We're going to figure it out, because a lot of students did live in these houses. We're talking right behind the law school.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
There's videos online that people actually took from the law school where they showed the tornado going by and everything, and so they say, okay, exams are off for now. So I spend the next 2 weeks of my time going out to a community called Holt and volunteering.
Okay.
Just basically getting my car, putting on some work boots, grabbing some buddies, and going out there and just finding anybody that needed help.
I'm assuming Holt had gotten hit pretty hard.
Oh, absolutely. Right. We found a neighborhood out there that basically the only thing left standing was a church.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And so we go to this church, and they would just assign us out to work crews and send us out to the neighborhood. And just the incredible thing I saw is after the tornado, just the entire community coming together in a spirit of rebuilding and just helping people. And it felt so great just to be able to go out there and help everyone.
Probably put you in the right frame of mind for graduating. So you graduate.
Absolutely.
You go to work is this where you went to work for law firm in Tuscaloosa?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd
so
that go?
It was great. It was a great learning experience. I'd worked for this firm since I think around 2006. So I started out as a runner there.
Okay. What's a runner?
Basically, I would answer the phone sometimes, but then if someone I served a few divorces, I would go do that. Knocking on.
So you delivered documents and you'd run away. Is that the idea?
On those, I would. Yeah, definitely. some awkward situations, but yeah, just drop off filings, go and check the folders at the courthouse, see if there's. This is back before everything's online.
So kind of like an intern.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Okay,
just an intern. I was paid though. It was nice. Nice. But yeah, so I did that for a few years. Then once I started law school, I took a year off. We weren't allowed to work our first year.
Okay.
And then I came back as a clerk. So pretty much starting 2006, I was a runner until 2009 in law school.
Okay.
And then in 2010 to 2012, I was a clerk. And then they hired me full time after I graduated.
Very good. How long were you there?
Altogether, I was there 5 years after I graduated.
Now, had Crawford already moved to Orange Beach at this point?
Yeah, back in 2008. So before I started law school, the year.
So you all were long distance relationship there for a while.
Yeah, pretty much the whole time we were dating. Right. We started dating about a couple months before she moved to Orange Beach.
Well, all right. Where did so you worked for the established law firm? You kind of learned the ropes, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, great experience.
What led you coming down here? Did you have a job when you came down at another law school? Or
No, I didn't
attorney?
actually. So, and we kind of have to back up. So Crawford did. I finished up law school in 2012. So Crawford moves to Tuscaloosa. We're there for a while. We're living in town. We'd never lived in the same town together, so we decided, that'd probably be a good idea for a little while.
Might be a key to happy marriage.
Exactly. Make sure we're not just in the honeymoon phase.
Right.
Maybe go through some stressful things together.
Well, I told my wife, once we build the house I want to build, I'm gonna have my own bathroom, and my own shower. It's completely separate. So I feel you there.
And you'll never clean it, is that?
Oh yeah, no, that's somebody else's job. If I'm building that, so. All right. So what led you? So we're going to jump in. We're going to start getting into what you're doing now. What led you to open your own practice?
Well, so I worked for this firm. They made me a partner. I was a partner for about 3 years, and I really enjoyed that. It was a great firm to work for. I learned a lot. These were guys. A lot of them. They were a lot older than me.
Okay.
We'd been doing it for a long time. Had always been in a small practice, and I learned a lot of how to do things the right way with how you treat people. Their philosophy was treat people right, do good legal work, and everything else will follow.
Right.
And I felt like that was a great philosophy. Now, where I disagreed was on some of the older business practices and I was excited, just like a lot of business owners are. I wanted to start my own thing, where I can control everything. Yeah, right. Especially being a finance major, you look at all the bills and everything, and you're thinking, okay, how do I want to do this?
Okay. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a very quick break, and after the station identification break, I want to talk about what you actually focus on with your practice, because you have some fairly unique services. All right. Let's take a quick break here. For those of you just joining us, this is Josh Knoll with Focus on the 5, conversations with Baldwin County, Alabama entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm joined today by local attorney Brenton McWilliams. We're here on WABF 1480. All right, so you make the decision to go out on your own, which is, I don't know a whole lot about how attorney practices are set up other than dealing with them on the financial side, but I would imagine you walked away from quite a bit of security, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
When you're a partner, you get a regular
scary
paycheck.
Right.
And when you go independent,
and there was a regular influx of business.
Right.
And here I am now.
You left the mothership.
I've got to do it all.
And
right.
you've watched my journey a little bit. I left the mothership too, and there's certain trade-offs with that.
Right.
So when you left, did you have a specific focus in mind? Did you have a mission? What were you trying to accomplish?
Well, I wanted to definitely take away everything that I learned there, what I felt was doing business the right way. But what I also wanted to do was incorporate some of my own business philosophies of things like keeping the overhead low and trying to pass those savings on to the client.
Okay.
General things like that. I had in mind the certain practice areas that I enjoyed. I wanted to work those practice areas. And then just basically building something all of my own.
So what I'm hearing is have you seen the movie The Firm? Right? So in the big firms, do they bill like that, where you work 6 hours and gets billed 10, or is that just a movie?
Oh yeah, that's just a movie. No, okay. it definitely wasn't like this at that one, but
oh, I know, I'm just kidding. And you charge per copy. Did you guys do that and all that?
No.
No, just teasing her. So you came out. What did you? I know one time you told me you got a real passion for elder law.
Right.
All right. So is that the main focus of the practice?
That's my main focus.
Okay. For those, people hear elder law and they think a million different things. Mm-hmm. Let's dive into that.
A big component is, I'll say the best explanation is just serving the basic legal needs of the elderly, whatever they may be.
Okay.
And that can cover a broad spectrum of areas. But I would say a huge component of that is planning for long-term care. Okay. Planning on how to cover the expenses of long-term care, which can be huge. So that's just a big part of it. That as a component of that, it can be planning for Medicaid, to qualify for Medicaid, for VA planning, mm-hmm. For VA benefits, and then I also do some basic estate planning as well. Some probate work, probating wills, estates.
Sometimes when people hear elder law, they also infer you deal with elder abuse. Is that fair to ask?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I've definitely dealt with some situations with clients in the past, more on the financial end.
Right.
Correct. I've dealt
financial
with some
abuse. Right.
Yeah, I don't. I can definitely help out with that. I'll say. As a corollary to that, what we deal with a lot is competency issues.
Okay. Say that again.
Competency issues.
All right.
How to address situations where someone is no longer capable of taking care of things on their own. And when I've been in this situation in the past, it was more people who have been delegated that authority misusing it. Someone who has the opportunity to access these bank accounts, not using it in the proper way.
Right.
Basically raiding them and then using them for whatever they want.
You see it a lot.
I don't see it a lot.
Well, let me rephrase that. In society,
I don't see it a lot.
We see it a lot.
Personally.
Yeah, so in society, you hear about it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just watching any TV at night. What, when it comes to long-term care financing, when you're working with your clients, can you give us a 30,000-foot view of kind of the options on what someone's getting into? Because it's a hot topic as our society gets older, and as we've said multiple times on the different things that we've done with my practice, is there's no greater destroyer of someone's individual wealth than extended healthcare events and the costs associated with it.
Right, absolutely.
All right, so 30,000-foot view, what can someone do working with you on long-term care financing and cost association?
Well, it's basically it's meeting the eligibility requirements. Especially if we're looking at Medicaid. Say that we're headed in that direction. Is meeting the eligibility requirements and we employ some different strategies to accomplish that goal.
Okay.
Whether it be just, I'll say in a situation if someone's applying for Medicaid. Generally, we can preserve at least half of their assets, and the facts and circumstances are different. But in certain, we're going to shift things around. We're going to look at some areas of some non-countable resources, things that Medicaid would not count against someone that's applying.
Okay.
And then we're going to take a look at just doing some shifts around in some ways that will basically move the assets out of their pool that would be considered.
Well, and I think society in general has gotten a little bit better about understanding these two terms, but there's two big scary words in your line of work: spend down,
right,
and look back.
Right. You
want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, yeah, the look back period is pretty basic. It's a 5-year period prior to an application for Medicaid, and what they will do is they'll look back. They'll ask you the question: have you made any gifts over this 5-year period? And if you have made a gift, they will penalize you in the form of a delay in benefits.
Okay.
And
in the amount of that gift?
Right, in the amount of the gift, and it's a kind of complicated calculation, but it's basically
everything with the government.
Yeah, exactly. These are all in federal regulations and things like that. But they will take the gift or gifts. It could be a series of gifts over the course of that time, and they will divide it by the average cost of care, and then for each month of that, the monthly average cost of care, and then apply a penalty, a delay in benefits for each month.
You work with people in some cases to try to avoid spend down, I would think.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
as best you can.
And especially where there's one thing I'm seeing a lot is there's a completely different set of rules where there's a community spouse. So where there's a married couple, and only one of them needs to qualify for nursing home Medicaid. Basically, the other spouse is well capable of living on their own. There's a completely different set of rules, and you see people making that assumption that I've got to spend down to that lower amount for an individual, and there's rules out there to protect the community spouse that are in place just so that doesn't happen. So, but there's kind of a general knowledge out there of, okay, this is what they are. Someone's getting misinformation or something like that, and they think they have to spend down to $2,000 in assets. And
sounds like my line of work.
Yeah,
there's a lot of misinformation out there. You do anything specifically for business owners?
Business formation.
Okay.
Contracts and business formations. I spent probably a good portion of those 5 years back at the firm in Tuscaloosa reviewing construction contracts. So I think I've got it on a resume somewhere. I think I counted, I did 200.
Wow.
200 construction contracts, and these are with a lot of them with some really large businesses. And you imagine, I got pretty good at reading contracts over that time frame. I started developing, you kind of know what to look for at a certain point. If someone has this specific question, you think, okay, well, I've got to look for this clause, and just makes it a lot easier.
And you're talking millions of dollars.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So business owners, are you primarily looking for Orange Beach business owners, Foley? Where all do you operate?
I'm happy throughout the county and really statewide. I can help someone if they're willing to work with me over the phone. I can help someone statewide form a business. But around here, I'm a pretty flexible way I practice. You know, I can meet with people over the phone. They can come to me. You know, we have a pretty large county.
Right.
So
huge geographically,
exactly,
and growing population-wise.
So I find it can be convenient to meet with people over the phone sometimes. Yeah, I'm working on. I've talked to some other lawyers out there who use Skype.
Right.
You know, Apple Video, FaceTime. Yeah.
Technology allows us to cover a lot more ground than we used
Exactly.
to, for sure.
I'm experimenting with that.
Mobile County, Baldwin County.
Sure.
Very good. Is that kind of your primary focus?
Baldwin County is really my primary focus.
Well, there's plenty to do.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah.
What any other services I'm not getting to that you want to mention?
I do some real estate work.
Okay.
I do business and real estate. That's really I've covered a lot of areas, and I'm open to things if someone wants to call me up and just ask me. What I say is, if I can help you with it, I'm happy to. But if not, maybe I can send you to someone who can.
Perfect. How do you get the word out about your services other than radio show?
Well, just trying to meet everyone I can.
You have a blog, don't you?
I do have a blog. Yes,
Okay.
I have a website. I have a blog.
Go ahead and mention the website.
Sure. My website is BrentonMcWilliams.com.
BRENT
Right.
ON
It's
McWilliams.com.
tricky, right? You're right. Yeah. BRENT.
Now on that blog, do they have to go to the website to see it, or can they sign up for it? I forgot to ask you that.
Probably we'll roll something out like that sometime
Okay.
soon, maybe where they could get email updates. But just for now, you've got to check in regularly.
Maybe
with the
video
website.
too?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
I'm strongly considering videos. I think you'll see those coming soon.
Well, all right. So we're going to segue on that because you're married to a pretty talented artist.
Absolutely.
Named Crawford, right? And she also is pretty savvy with this stuff. So
Right.
Is
She is my social media genius.
Okay. I was going to ask her, is she working with you? I mean,
yeah, she
her
works
role?
with me. She has a lot of other stuff going on, so I'm finding it hard to get her time increasingly.
Right.
But she's an artist. She's a professional artist. She also does still does some interior design work, but on a e-design level. But I think the main focus right now is her art.
Very good.
She has a website as well. I guess if you'll allow me to go ahead and plug
Well,
that.
heck yeah. She's part of this.
It's CrawfordMcWilliamsArt.com.
Very good. What do y'all do for fun?
We love to travel.
All right.
Last year in November, we went to Italy. We went to Florence, Venice, and Milan. And then last summer, we went to San Miguel I'm probably not saying the name right, but San Miguel de Allende in Mexico.
All right.
It's up in the mountains. A really cool place.
It's beautiful?
Beautiful. A large expatriate community there. A lot of people retiring there.
Okay.
But yeah, beautiful. We had a hotel right on the square. On the weekend, mariachi bands would come out. I took a video from my balcony, but at one point I'm looking around the square and there's 5 different mariachi bands playing, just kind of going
like
back
a battle
and
of the
forth.
bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What, do y'all go somewhere new every year?
We try to.
Okay.
We've got a few places that we like, but you know, we just Crawford's got some secrets of kind of how we travel. If someone wants to give me a call and come in for a meeting, I'll share those.
She's the
with
one
you,
where they pay her to go. Is it like that?
I wish, not yet.
Well, I went to Wapapella, Alberta, and Perdido last year. I don't know if that counts.
That's
or
cool.
not. How people get a hold of you? Can they call you?
Well, yeah, they can reach me by phone, and the phone number is 251-215-9275. If you call me on that phone number, you're going to get a hold of me directly.
All right.
For now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and repeat that one more time.
Sure. The phone number?
Yes.
Okay. 251-215-9275.
Physical address.
It is 25594 Canal Road, Orange Beach.
Very good. All right, so last question. We have a lot of entrepreneurs watching this show, or at least seems like we do. I get a lot of feedback from them. What advice would you have for someone? You're not the first attorney to leave the mothership and go off on their own.
Right.
What advice you got?
To reach out to the community for support. Absolutely. Everyone that shares, likes anything on Facebook, they're all helping me out. And
Right.
my community, my friends, even friends who don't live in Orange Beach have been extremely supportive. And I've definitely seen the benefits. I've had clients come in and say, "Hey, I found this through this person's share,"
Right.
or something like that.
Right.
It's been great. I'd say also reach out on the internet and just learn what you can on your own. I've done all my SEO on my own,
Okay.
and it's worked well. I've created my own website. Eventually, as I grow, I'm sure I'll look to someone else to help me
Right.
out with that. But it's been great starting out. It's saved me some money.
Well, yeah, if you know how to do your own SEO, that's a huge leg
Yeah.
up on that. So, all right. Well, anything else, Lori? We catch everything? So if you don't, I'm getting her on the show here. All right, if you're a regular listener to the show, then you know that we also film our conversation and release it across multiple social media platforms. So I need 2 favors from you all. One, if you see Brenton running around, make sure that you let him know that you heard or saw him on the show. I appreciate when you do that. 2, if you know someone that you think would be a good guest, let me know. Reach out to me. You'll find my contact info at the end of this show. In closing, I want to thank my guest, attorney Brenton McWilliams, for joining us today. You did a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. As well as all of you out there listening, I am Josh Null of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. This has been Focus on the 5, and I want you to have a great day. That is it. That's a wrap. All right.
All right.
Good?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Focus on the 5. If you are interested in learning more about Josh Null and Gulf Coast Financial Advisors, you can find us at gulfcoastfa.com, call 251-327-2124, email josh.null@gulfcoastfa.com, or message us on Facebook. Focus on the 5 is produced by Josh Null of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. Advisory services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Inc., a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Pro Equities Inc., a registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA and SIPC. Gulf Coast Financial Advisors is independent of Pro Equities Inc. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Focus on the 5 offers commentary and generalized research, not personalized investment advice. Show content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute a complete description of our investment services or performance. All investments involve risk and unless otherwise stated are not guaranteed. Be sure to consult a tax professional before implementing any investment strategy.